one of my questions about this team is does Belichick have enough cronies and friends and support to run this team? I was looking at it today. He's lost in the I believe, last 5 years. He's lost Charlie Weiss, Romeo Crennel, Josh McDaniels, Eric Mangini, Scott Pioli, Thomas Dimitroff. He lost Brad Seeley, his special teams coach. He hasn't named an offensive coordinator. I mean, the man's a genius, but
and that is the understanding, is that he's actually going to handle the play calling duties this year and kind of groom the next offensive coordinator during the course of the season. But like you said, how much more can he take onto his plate? I mean, he brought in Floyd Reese to kind of give him a hand in the in the football operations and finding the different players that are out there. But I mean, I don't know what the situation is there, how much he's actually got Floyd doing the day-to-day work.
Well, he's got. I mean, Nick Caserio seems to be the new man. He's
Nick
kind of the young.
is more than capable of taking over that job. But when you're talking about a team that needed the kind of overhaul that it needed this offseason, you know that Belichick's hands were all over that. So has he burnt himself out this summer trying to build this team to the point where now when we get into the season, can he handle the coaching the team, running the offense, and everything else that's going to happen over the course of the next few months?
What do you think, Bill? What's your take on Belichick? Do you think he's got what it takes? Whatever the situation, he's going to make it work.
One of the things that is kind of strange. This is the second time he's had to take over the offense. Isn't he supposed to be a defensive genius?
Yeah, well, I think he's upgraded to just complete genius.
Yeah,
but
question.
because he did that. Yeah, 2005 basically. McDaniel. He did. I think it was 2005. He didn't. Yeah, after Weiss, he didn't name a coordinator, and that was McDaniel's. But it's amazing to me that they could turn. Basically, two organizations gave the keys to their team to McDaniel's and to Pioli. Basically, those guys are both the kings of their castle. I mean, I can't imagine a similar player defection. It's the player equivalent of them losing, Randy Moss and Vince Wilfork, isn't it? Or is it not? Is it not that important?
Pioli's a little bit of a different situation because, I mean, he's a guy that's proved that he can do that job in the past. McDaniels is really a crapshoot because here's a guy that's really getting his first opportunity as the head coach and as the head man of an organization. At least with Pioli, he's done the job for Parcells in the past. He's done it with Belichick. He's worked, he's learned from these guys coming along. Whereas McDaniels, you're looking at a guy who's got a couple of years coordinator experience and then, lower level jobs before that.
But they fired Mike Shanahan. And they put this guy in there, and they said, "Hey, this is your team, so he's got to be pretty good, doesn't he?"
They must have a lot of faith in him, either that, or it was just a matter of, they kind of fell in love with one of those Belichick disciples, which we've seen happen in the past in Cleveland, and it doesn't really work out. So,
well, I mean, the constant here. I mean, doesn't it also speak to system? So often gets used as such a dirty word. This guy's a system quarterback. That's the only reason he's good. And I mean, the constant has been on the player side, and obviously guys get older, but they have instilled in them the work ethic and the drive and what they do, and year in and year out, we've not really seen a drop-off, and never was that clearer than last year when the team went 11-5 without its best player. Getting what they got, you absolutely could have. If you told someone at the beginning of the season after Brady went down that the Patriots would miss the playoffs, I don't think anyone would have doubted you. They would not have thought the team was going to go 11-5 and miss the playoffs. I mean, that was a legitimate threat.
Let me ask you a quick question, John Kuchar. How dare you talk about football?
It's not something I'm comfortable doing.
Unless it's the Giants.
Did you just make? I mean, that stuff. Everything you just said, I'm pretty sure it's true.
And it's funny because there was a point when I just started to look out towards third base, and I just kind of glazed over a little bit.
You just started thinking baseball.
I was like, they're going to keep playing baseball forever, right?
Right.